10 or 15 years, a film is produced that is so overwhelming, so forceful in its impact, that it becomes deeply embedded in the mind.
Persons under 18 will not be admitted.
Appreciate your choosing our theater. And to make this experience more enjoyable for everyone, we hope you'll refrain from talking during the show. Enjoy the movie. Thank you.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. You're watching Still Toking with. My name is Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We have an awesome show scheduled for you. And as always, Benjamin, how's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. I'm actually super excited about this. You know, we're celebrating an historic achievement here. So
We are.
Yeah. I mean, I just celebrated my historic achievement last week. I turned 50 myself.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm ready for this one.
Sounds good. Jeffrey.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. First Wednesday in October, too. Spooky month. I love it. My favorite time of year. And happy 50th, Ben, I have to say. Now, welcome to the old fucker club.
Okay. All
right?
right.
So, I'm looking forward to tonight's show. I'm going to mess this up. Am I going to mess this up?
No, you
I'm
shouldn't.
not gonna mess this
No,
up.
I don't think you'll mess this one up.
We actually have two guests with us tonight from an old classic, one of my favorite films of all time, Last House on the Left. And let's welcome Jeramie Rain and Marc Sheffler. Hi,
Hello,
Jeramie.
hello.
Hi.
Hi, Marc.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, you beat me to it.
Right?
Half
So
a
I'm
century.
going to say,
Hold on a
you
second.
guys look fantastic.
Right. Even the dog thinks so.
Yes.
Yeah, the dog started barking.
It's all that clean living that we never did.
I did. What do you mean?
All right.
Here we go.
I'm cheap laugh. What could I say? It's just I opened with a joke. You know, we go rolling along.
Zoom.
I'm just going to let the two of them go.
Right? So, do you guys get to see each other very often, or?
Never, except at autograph shows.
Yeah, we do. We do conventions together and get, obviously there. But no, she lives in Idaho, and I live in
L.A.
Los Angeles. No, I live in I was thinking of where I was. I live in 3 different places over the course of a year, so we don't get a chance. I wish we could.
Right.
Idaho.
Yeah.
Who the fuck wants to go to Idaho? What's in Idaho?
Oh my God! I should turn the camera around. It's so beautiful
Besides
here in the
potatoes.
mountains. Well, I love their potatoes.
Right?
I love the blue skies. I love the trees, the mountains.
Just
We have
pure
clean
air. Yep.
Except for the fires. But we had 2 weeks of fire this year.
Wow.
No. Okay.
We can ski. I live in a ski town.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
I've never
it's
been
beautiful.
to Idaho. I should
Well,
probably
you can
visit
come.
it
I have
someday.
room. You can stay here. The dog might eat you. He's very large.
There's so many things that just popped into my head, but I'm not going to say any of them.
Yeah, please.
Okay. You don't.
Let's keep the train on the tracks.
Right.
Right.
Oh.
So you mentioned you get to see each other at conventions. Do you go to a lot of conventions? Because conventions have been exploding over the last probably 5-10 years.
Yeah. Before COVID, we did a few. A couple
but
times a
none
year.
since then. I haven't.
Not since COVID. I haven't done any. I haven't really wanted to because, while I love seeing fans, I don't want to run into that one fan who's got that one strain of COVID that gets through the 95 fucking vaccines that I've had. So
I just got my 5th.
yeah, I told them that when I went to get mine, I said, look, I'll take them all. Just give them
Me too.
Just hit me up. I said, I've done so much shit in my life. These drugs are going to go in there and go, hey, we can really help you, move over. So yeah, I
Move over.
I went like this. I said, "Come on, man, just pincushion me. Just give me every fucking vaccine you have."
Mark had the IV bag for about a week.
Right. What do you got?
Yeah,
Mark,
unfortunately.
do you wear a mask at the grocery store?
What's that?
Do you wear a mask at the grocery store?
I wear a fucking mask everywhere. I'm lucky I don't have one on right now. I don't know these three guys. You, I know. But Leo, I know. I probably wouldn't wear a mask around. Yeah, Patty and I wear everywhere we go. We just got back from.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's
okay.
fine.
Take over.
Look, if you're gonna get heckled by a dog, because at least you can't blame anyone's parents for it.
Right.
So
I'm not the parent.
We just got back from 10 weeks in Colombia, on one of our trips to spend time with our family. And we're all vaxxed up and everybody's vaxxed. And even down there, mostly everyone in their family's vaxxed. They all fucking caught COVID, right? They all caught. I'm walking around the house with fucking 5 masks on. I got 2 sets of gloves. I have a shield on. And they were calling me like, Tio Crazy, Uncle Crazy, right?
Uncle Crazy.
No, they were. So after everyone in the family had gotten COVID except me, right? When we were leaving to come back, and the little girls all hugged me and said, "Bye-bye, Tio COVID, Tio Crazy, we'll see you." I said, "You can call me Tio Crazy, but I'll give you another name, Tio Sin COVID, which means Uncle without COVID."
And you never got it, right?
I never got it. They made fun of me with my masks and my 5 masks and the shit like that, but I never got it. And this was like Omicron. Yeah, this was Omicron. This was like the most contagious motherfucker up to date, right? This was I get anybody, but somehow watch, I'll get hit by a bus, right? That's the joke. But that's a cheap old joke. That's a cheap old joke. I'm sorry.
That was a bad joke.
But no, I've already been hit by a car. I don't need to get hit by a bus.
He really did get hit by a car.
I really did get hit by a car. Anyway, so pretty cool.
I love the way he ended it. He's like, "That was pretty cool." So.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I'm a non sequitur. Walking non sequitur.
I like the beard gone. You look good.
Yeah, I'm not doing any shows, any Elliott shows. So because I'm writing a book, so I'm home more. So I just tired of being him wherever I went, and I just shaved. Patty shaved it. She cuts my hair and she shaves my beard. So, I really
He's
don't.
supposed to be my son in Last House on the Left.
And we're exactly the same.
I think I'm a year older than you.
You said I'm 73.
I'm 74.
Okay.
How'd this happen? How did this happen?
Yeah, well, you could have been mine. It could have been weird.
I was supposed to be his mother. And I was like, I'm 23. I don't know if I could really have a grown son, Junior. So they never answered what our relationship was.
Right.
I don't think people were looking at us and trying to figure out our ages. After a certain point, I think they were concentrating on other things. They had accepted us for whatever age their brains put us at.
Right. Wes said to me, "Your character is supposed to be 45," and I'm 23. I said, "I can play 45." I didn't know what 45 looked like, but when you're poor and you're starving and you say yes, they say, "Can you scuba dive?" Yes. Never been in the ocean. I got a job. I had to dive down the blue hole in Belize. I took 1 hour class at the Y because you have to say yes.
Always say you could do it, no matter what. No matter
of course I could do it.
And I'm going to tell you what she just said. I get what she just said. We're laughing about it because it's funny, but it's you wonder how people make moves for themselves. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, when faced with that circumstance, wouldn't say yes. They would, be honest or not want to put themselves in it. But there's a certain, I would have said yes, I say yes to everything. And then
you figure it out.
So then you fucking figure it out because otherwise that's your chance. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
as I write this book about my life, I can earmark like a dozen of those things where I had no idea what I was doing, right? But I said yes anyway because that was my
I said
chance.
yes to jumping off a cliff for Search for Tomorrow, and unfortunately, I thought they'd have a pit I'd land in. It would be soft, and no, I broke my back.
Ugh.
And they tried to say that I broke my back on the train on the way back to New York City,
geez.
but
A lot of people.
no, it was bad. And stuntmen were kind of laughing that at least I got hurt. The stuntman's wife didn't get hurt. I mean, I made $250 to do that. So that was a lot.
I don't know
That
if I'd
wasn't
be
that
jumping
much
off
money.
I'm not gonna jump off a cliff for $250. You're gonna have to pay me a lot more than that.
Well, now I don't
Well,
feel bad that I
we're
got.
older
It's a
than you
real
guys.
cliff.
That was my rent that month.
Right?
No, they made me do it a second time. I broke my back the first time. They
Oh.
made me do it again because I didn't lay there and play dead while the credits rolled over me. Because the woman, you're supposed to think she died. She didn't die. She was blind and she got her eyesight back. I went to the hospital and had my back fused. But yeah,
Wow.
we used to say yes. Like,
Wow.
you're trying to support yourself in the
Right.
70s in New York, and there was a lot of violence in New York in the 70s. It was pretty crazy there.
Oh, that's a good philosophy. I mean, I kind of live by that philosophy. I do woodworking, and people ask me, "Can you make this?" Sure. Did you ever do it before? Nope.
Well,
Nope.
that's
I
like,
tell them.
No, I'm a plumber. I'm a plumber. But what the
Right.
hell?
Well, no. Because I look at it as I don't know that I can't.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I don't know that I can't, then I can.
Look, when I was 19 and had an opportunity at the Raleigh Hotel in South Fallsburg in the Catskills to become the stage manager, and the general manager of the hotel, who had known me a whole 3 days but liked me because I was there on a weekend working on the athletic staff, another job that I fucking lied my way into, and he said to me, "You know how to run these lights?" I said, "Absolutely." He said, "Well, we got this big carbon arc spotlight in the booth. It gets pretty tricky." I said, "You know what? I had to study that in school, and as a drama major."
Was this all a lie?
All fucking lies, just fucking lies. I went into the light booth, and a carbon arc spotlight. First of all, it looks like a fucking torpedo chute, right? It's like about 6 feet long, and the light obviously goes towards the stage. But the way it works, simply understand the way it works. It's got these two electrical rods, these disposable carbon shit rods, right? And they light. You touch them together and start a flame, and there's a mirror inside, and that mirror reflects this super hot white light flame. So what they didn't tell me was, without laughing, that in the middle of the show, these rods burn down, and you got to change them and put new ones in. So
sure.
and
But you knew what you were doing.
Right.
Yeah, right. And I actually spent like 2 days before the shows started, that the week of the shows, up in that booth figuring that shit out, just making sure that I spent like 2 days just opening those things, practicing, getting it, figuring, because I didn't want it to, to fuck up on the show. If I was going to fuck up, I wanted to fuck up right then
Burn
and there.
the stage down.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was
a hell of a light show.
Yeah.
Jeramie, it was like,
What?
and you have to put the rods in, and then turn the electricity on, and then touch the two rods together, the tips of the rods,
No,
so
I don't
that
like
the
electricity.
I don't either, right? So
This
that the
sounds like
arc
torture.
Yeah, but I did it, right? And I became like a macher there. I became like the real
And they
stage
probably
manager.
paid you like $20.
They
We didn't get paid well back then.
I'll tell you, Jeramie, I'll tell you a story.
What?
Do you know Bob Morton, who used to executive produce Letterman show? You know Morty?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. So anyway, guys, Bob Morton, the guy used to produce David Letterman's show. So he's a friend. So one day he said to me, he said, "You're a legend up at the Raleigh." And I said, "What do you mean?" And I said, how do you know? And he said, well, I got your room after you left. And I said, you got my room? How do you know it was my room? He said, because I have the picture that Don Rickles signed to you. And I said, oh shit. He said, you forgot it. And I have it. And or I had it. I don't know if you still have it. Yeah. So apparently Rickles, when he performed, I'd watch all these comedians because, you know, it was completely and utterly enraptured at the fact that, wow, I'm now seeing comedians every day of my fucking life. And so Rickles signed something to me, and I guess I forgot it. But yeah, I got a chance, but I got that job completely. I got the athletic job on the athletic staff by lying and saying that I played on the LSU baseball team, that I was the second baseman.
Wait a minute. You really are a liar.
Wait. There's a kernel of truth in that. I was the second baseman on my high school baseball team. I just got them confused, right? So then I heard about the job as a stage manager, and I wanted that job. So I cornered the general manager of the hotel, and I told him I can do that job. I'm a drama major. That was true. I was a drama major, if you count drama, trying to, you know, the arguments I had getting money out of my mother. Obviously drama. Right. So no, but I was a drama major, and you know, I got the job, and that job led to another job that took me to New York. I mean, it's a chain. It's just a fucking chain of shit that happened. That's what I'm writing about. I'm writing a fictionalized version of this. It's just all a fucking chain. Wow. And at every turn, like Jeramie said, you just gotta. If this is what you really want to do, you can't let a simple thing like truth stand in your way. You know?
So you've basically bullshitted your way through life.
That's why, you know something? That is why the title of my book is Dumb Fucking Luck.
But you have to. I mean, that's right. If you told the truth, we'd never have gotten hired for anything.
No, of course not.
I was a PA. I didn't know how to. They asked me to be a PA at NBC. I didn't know what that even stood for. And I was pecking on the typewriter, and my boss said to me, Jeramie, if somebody walks by, act like you drop the pencil and search for the pencil on the floor, but do not let them see you pecking at the typewriter. So I took a class at the Y and learned how to type. And I actually loved being a PA.
Right.
In New York. It was fun.
The moral to that story, folks, is she went to the Y twice and learned how to do things.
Okay.
Once to scuba dive.
Right.
And that's right. Once to scuba dive and once how to type. And
so the
I'm not very good at either.
You guys, is a great place to go learn how to get the job or do the job that you just said that you're good at.
If you're a pedophile.
Oh my God.
Why? You fucking kidding me?
Well, I worked as a caregiver the last 10 years. And when I was told that I had to change this really nice, educated, very successful man's depends, I didn't want to do it. It's like, no, I can't. And that was one of the hardest things I ever did in my life. I had to really have a long talk with myself. It's good to do things that are hard to do, because then your brain will expand. It's good for us to do new things. And that was one of the scariest things I ever did in my whole life. And I found out that he was just happy that I took care of him. You know, he wasn't
probably the closest he's gotten in years.
No, but you know, he wasn't even thinking like that. It was just, yeah, right.
Okay, so Marc derailed the train, not Jeff.
Wait, right?
You want a job?
We couldn't
you
talk
want a
about
job?
those
You get an
things.
experience?
Here's the thing. You guys ever read William Goldman's Adventures in the Screen Trade?
No.
Okay. If you're interested in movies, I suggest two books for you, right? Adventures in the Screen Trade and another book by Neil Gabler called Empire of Their Own. Just read those 2 books, and you'll get a real handle on it, the entertainment business and the movie business. So I get asked a lot, how do you break in? How do you get started? How does somebody do that? And I have kind of it's a little long-winded answer, and that is that if you know anything about golf, any of you guys play golf?
I did. And then I couldn't see the point.
You ever watch golf? You ever like watch the tournaments? So as many golfers as there are on the PGA Tour, that's how many different golf swings there are. They're all different. They're all different swings. Their mechanics they're all different. The only thing they have in common is that when they go to hit at the moment of impact, they're all in the same place. How they got there, where they go afterwards, that's where the changes are. That's where the difference is. But when it counts, they're all squared to the ball, right? All their club heads are squared to the ball. So breaking in the show business is like hitting a golf ball. How you get there, what you need to do to get there doesn't fucking matter. And everybody's got a different story because everybody does it differently. And afterwards, also everybody doesn't do. The only thing everybody has in common is at that moment when you gotta, show your shit, the people who succeed show their shit. So that's the way. So the way I became a writer, an actual professional writer, member of the Writers Guild, professional writer.
Yep.
100% didn't start out that way. Okay. Last House on the Left came out, and for about 3 to 4 weeks, I got a chance, as Jeramie did, to taste what, like a movie star thing is like, on a small scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
right.
It happened. We all did.
I was still broke.
I was broke, but I got a chance to be treated well, right?
Nobody recognized me because of the hair.
So what I realized was that being in this movie for that brief period of publicity time, women were like throwing themselves at me.
And me too. Women threw themselves at me too.
For the very same reason.
Right, I can see that.
Precisely the same reasons, right? So like I did publicity back in Pittsburgh, and girls from my high school class were like offering me shit, like they a scant 3 years earlier were just fucking ignoring me, like wouldn't give me the time of day, and now they were offering me a whole lot more than the time of day.
Wow, Mark.
Yeah, yes. So I realized that I had made, in the middle of this, I realized this is a pretty good career decision, and then it went away, right? Mm-hmm. It went away. It just went away.
Fame is fleeting.
That's it. Fleeting. That's right. Yeah. So all these girls that were, I could say I'm in a movie and I'm now back to being another fucking out of work actor. There I am. Mm-hmm. So I figured I had to come up with something for girls. One of my primary focuses in life, right? So
what'd you do?
I'm at a party one night, and I see a guy sitting in the corner of the room talking to a beautiful model actress, one of those skinny, just like that, just gorgeous. And he's no better looking than I am, kind of average, right? And I kind of went close, and I hear the guy, and he's saying, yeah, so I was talking to my agent in Los Angeles, and I'm going to deliver the first act. There's some plot points in the second act I'm not sure of, but I'll get it in on time. And then I got another deal over at Fox, and I'll be fine. And this girl is like, whoa, she's like fucking hip, like Svengali. She's hypnotized. They end up leaving together. So I say to myself, hey, I could do that. 100%, I could tell girls I'm a writer. So I go out and I buy a bunch of books, Sid Field and some Lajos Egri and a bunch of books on screenwriting and TV writing. And I work up like a rap, like I work up like, like I pretend I'm really writing something. And I do it a few times and it works and I keep building on it. And finally I get it down where it's like fucking flawless. If this girl has any interest in me whatsoever, this is fucking flawless. So one day I was at an audition at Lee Lacey's office, N. Lee Lacey, who was a commercial director in Los Angeles. I mean, in LA too, but in New York, who I had done a couple of commercials with. So he knew me, and I'm in this waiting room and a bunch of beautiful girls there. And I kind of zeroed in on one and I'm doing my thing. Right. And I'm talking about, I'm into my first draft and now I'm like, because I've been doing it so much, I'm further along in the project, right? So I give myself credit for work. It's not the same thing all the time. So now, like, I'm getting ready to finish the first draft, and I get a tap on my shoulder, and it's Lee Lacey. Lee Lacey's the guy who directed the Mean Joe Green Coke commercial. That's who he is. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he said to me, "Hey, I heard what you were saying. I want to read that. I have an agent in Los Angeles at William Morris. I love you, man. Come on, let's do something." So I take him aside and I say, "Look, Lee, I got to be really honest with you, man." I said, "I'm not writing anything." He said, "What?"
I'm just picking chicks up.
I just do it for chicks. I just do it for girls. And he said to me, "Is it working?" I said, "Oh yeah, all the fucking time. Like, it's flawless." And he said, "You know something? Then you're using this for the wrong thing." I said, "Using what?" He said, "Mark, if you can get women to take their pants off because of some things you're saying about something you're writing, don't you think you'd be much better off to like actually write it?" And I looked at him and 22 years old. I said, "Yeah, gee, I never really thought of it that way, So he said to me, "Start thinking of it that way and get back to me when you're finished." So I don't know how long it took me, 6 months, 7 months to write it. I wrote it, gave it to him. And about a month later, he called me up and he said, "You're moving to Los Angeles." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, my agent, Stan Kamen, gave it to Jerry Katzman and Arthur Axelman, the two guys who run the TV department, and they just sold it to NBC. So, you're moving if you want to go." I said, "What the very motherfucking fuck? What? Jesus." And so there you go, man. That's just like, that's how I became.
Since.
What's that?
You've had women ever since.
Well, yeah, but yes, I have.
You got married, yeah.
I got. So, see that, like, I didn't. It just, remember what I told you at the beginning of that? How I became a writer is absolutely nowhere connected to how it started out. And
you were just trying to get laid, actually.
I'm still, still trying. No, I'm married to a beautiful woman, a beautiful Jeramie knows her, my wife, a beautiful Colombian woman, a woman who is extraordinary personality, extreme. She's either at my throat or at my feet. Sadly, not enough time in between.
The dog just barked. You like that?
He's got the dogs barking, folks.
Oh my God!
Leo found the button.
Yeah,
I work hard.
Thank you, Leo. Oh my goodness!
I bet a lot of men become singers, actors,
trying
to
to
get
impress
laid.
a girl,
right? Or director.
Yeah,
I mean,
I never made any bones about it,
Yeah, you're honest. You tell it like it is.
That was
that's not why women go into it. We don't go into it.
We played with wood.
Yeah, we were.
Right.
I
worked in a carpenter shop.
Yeah.
In New York City.
I left college. I had 3 life goals firmly cemented in place. I wanted to smoke as much weed as possible. I wanted to sleep with as many different women as possible.
Oh my God.
And I wanted to make just enough money to afford weed and the women. Now
Last
I'm
House on the
70.
Left was your real life. Except
Yes,
for the killing.
I look back my life now at 73, and boys, I have greatly exceeded my own expectations.
And that's how it should be.
That's correct.
That's how it should be.
Well, we're just listening through.
All right, Jeff. I know you must have a question.
Somebody asked.
Well,
Jeramie
yeah.
a
I mean, 50 years has gone by. I was 9 years old when Last House on the Left came out. So I didn't see it for about 6 years after that.
Thank God. Thank God.
Okay. I'm a horror movie freak, and that is it's one of those movies that it's so classic and timeless. I actually watched it again last night.
Wow.
My wife had never seen it, so I'm like, you know what?
She hates you now, right? She's
married?
upset.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, are you still married or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been married a long time.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Not her kind of movie, but appreciated the timelessness of it, I guess.
It's not really
you know
our
what I mean?
either, actually.
You know, it's I mean, my very first horror movie was a midnight movie. It was The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh yeah.
Way back in the day. The very next horror movie that I watched was
What's the second movie?
Last House on the Left.
Yep.
That was my introduction. You know, that was my introduction. So, and watching it again last night, I haven't watched it in years, but watching it again last night, I mean, I was just blown away at the simplicity of it, but how nasty it really was. If that makes sense. And you're a fucking psycho.
Jeramie.
Oh yeah,
Which one?
Let him say
was a
what.
psycho.
Oh yeah.
Talking to you, I figure I was the psycho.
You were the psycho.
I thought I was
Absolutely.
funny, and you know what? I would have let that girl go, but when she hit me in the head with a rock and called me a dyke, it's like, okay, now you got to die. I understood the character.
Right.
Yep. I was just having fun, and some bad things happened along the way.
Do you guys
It
know
looked like
that?
it was a fun part.
Oh, we all had fun. This
Yeah, it looked it.
remains one
We
of the
had
most.
fun. It wasn't scary. Nothing was scary about it. It was all fake.
You know, but
And
we
the
had
movie
fun.
came out, it was terrifying.
The cast, the four of us had a tremendous fun time with each other. It remains one of my most, loving experiences in show business was making this movie.
You do know the girls we killed, they don't like us and
Yeah.
wanted nothing to do with us. It was I had to hang with the baddies hung together, and
Yes.
the victims, they clung to Wes and Sean Cunningham. They had nothing to do with us. They hated us to this day.
Yeah.
To this day.
Wow.
To this day, they would
Really?
not speak to us.
Yeah, they treated us like the trash we were.
And we played the trash
Wow.
that we were.
Yes, we did, didn't we?
Right.
That's it's fucking amazing.
Well,
I don't know.
that's what made it. That's what made it beautiful.
Well, you're right.
I mean,
The
honestly.
simplicity of it. I don't know if you guys heard, but in late August, Last House was one of 6 films in an exhibition at the Museum of Modern Art in New York. And
So cool.
yeah, it's gone from, of course, you guys know where we started with it to that place where we were in an exhibition shown at the Museum of Modern Art as part of a modern art exhibition. And it was the premise of the work was 6 films that have a visceral effect on the human body. They were 6 films from all over the world.
After I ripped her guts out.
Bird film. I mean, the company that we were keeping was like fucking amazing. That's what blew me away. The company we were keeping.
After I stabbed that girl in the cemetery and pulled her guts out, they cut for lunch, and those were condoms filled with mud and slime and tied together, the intestines, and they cut for lunch, and they were serving hot dogs and sausages.
Oh, geez.
And I remember at that moment, it's like, I don't think I'm going to eat meat for the rest of my life, and I don't.
So you were actually traumatized by the part.
Yeah. Well, the food looked like what I pulled out of her. I made a real, people don't really tell people where their food comes from.
Right.
I got to kind of.
They weren't budgeting correctly. They should have just used
the sausages and then cooked them up.
Right. Why take the condoms and fill them with mud?
Think of all the condoms they wasted that Marc could have used.
Marc needed those.
Actually, I had a girlfriend. You had a girlfriend
then?
We were making Last House. I was at the end of a relationship, although I didn't know it, with a girl I've been living with for about a year. And then right after Last House, that relationship ended, and then I moved in with Hess in this place on 85th Street.
Oh boy!
Yeah, that's when we spent like a couple of years together, living together, and we terrorized people. It was terrible.
And the nicest guy in the world is Dave.
We're the only two people. We're the only two people in New York City ever to get thrown out of an Irish bar for being drunk and disorderly. All right. Imagine how drunk you had to be for a guy.
David has got recognized everywhere.
Drunk and disorderly. Get out of here.
You sound like the kind of guy that would have been a ball to hang out with for years, and getting into some trouble.
That's what I keep telling you. I keep telling people that my entire life has been dedicated towards having fun. And
are you a hedonist? I guess you are.
Because I don't like to get naked with a lot of people, but and I think to be a true hedonist, you have to be able to do that. A few are okay, but like not tons of people. But no, I've really
not an orgy guy then.
No.
Yeah, not more than one.
But I have a friend who used to.
Was that a place?
I have a friend. Wait, I have a friend who used to run a swing house in Topanga Canyon back.
Oh my God! You're kidding.
Yeah. And he knew that gourmet cooking was like a hobby of mine. So he came to me and said, "Hey, what if you do me a favor?" I said, "What?" He said, "I don't want to have this catered because word gets out. But if I get a friend who knows how to cook to come over." She said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of you. I'll get one of them to take care of you." Said, no, it's okay. I'm think of me just as a cook writer. I'll just take some notes in my head. So I ended up doing it's like Saturday night for a while, going and picking up shit and coming over and cooking some very fancy, quick meals for people. Wow.
From McDonald's.
While Sodom and Gomorrah. No, I actually do the cooking. While Sodom and Gomorrah is happening around me. And
wow, Marc, I had no idea how kinky. I didn't know this. I really didn't know.
I'm not necessarily.
I don't have that on my notes.
No, me neither.
I think I missed a lot.
You can't. I'm kinky in the context of that you would say a psychiatrist is crazy because he knows about crazy, right? I know about this stuff. I'm not necessarily an active participant. I dabbled maybe once or twice just for notes. And
for notes for a movie or something. Right? For writing, you were writing.
For my research.
Yeah, you were.
I had to research the job I was just going to get.
I'm about getting it right. Okay, accuracy. So I took one for the pen. In that, but that was fun, interesting. I have no context. just fucking
Is
non
that going to be all
In the name
book?
of science. Jen, you're right.
Fair enough.
I have just totally lost all my questions that I had.
No, come on.
We haven't even talked
You haven't
about
written
the
down.
movie.
I
Wow.
did.
Yeah,
So-
I
Mark,
did
do you
too.
see a psychiatrist now?
No, what for?
You probably
You know,
should.
I'm 73 years old. What do I care? You know,
Right, too late
why?
now, right? It's too late now.
I'm harmless. You know, I don't cause anybody to grief. The fuck?
Right, so,
I have.
This has
No,
been.
Jeremy, I
This
have
has been a
great
blast.
relationships with the
Let's
I
talk.
love.
Let's get back to the movie. Let's get back
Yeah.
to the movie. I want to get back to the movie.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I was
because
waiting to see how long it would take you.
Huh? I
was
didn't
gonna
want
see
to
how long-
interrupt.
No, I've been enjoying the stories. I mean,
Oh,
Jeremy's
my
probably
God.
traumatized even more now, but
Totally. I don't know what
I
I
can't
am
believe
now.
I was in the same movie with this guy.
she's going to see the phone ring and it's going to be Mark. And she's like, yeah, no, I don't think I'll answer that one
If I've
today.
done anything to try to be amusing, I'm sorry. I apologize if I've done
No, you're
anything.
I'm
awesome,
still
dude.
learning
I'm
about
loving it.
polyamorous and all these new terms.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
Jeff, bring it back.
Oh my God. All right. So, now Wes Craven, was this one of his first films that he did?
His first.
It was his first,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Now, how
And-
lucky is that to get involved with with a guy like Wes Craven?
Well,
You didn't know at the time, obviously.
I thought he was a good-looking hippie.
yeah.
Kind of long
Good-looking
blonde hair
hippie.
and a hippie, and
Yep.
Okay.
he didn't
All
seem
right.
to know too much about filmmaking.
No,
And the
that-
script was impossible. The
Well-
script said that I cut her tits off and ate them. And I said, I can't do that. My parents will never let me come home to West Virginia. And he said, we'll probably take that out of the movie, which they did.
Really?
Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that would have changed the movie for a lot of people, I think.
I almost turned down, I was turning down the part if I had to do that.
You know what I mean?
There, you have to draw a line somewhere.
Right.
Right. I mean, shortly
Yeah.
after that, they pushed it to a next level with "I Spit on Your Grave."
Oh, I like that woman. I met her. I
You know?
really like her.
Well, all those movies are great. Even the remakes
Yeah.
are great. But what was your favorite part or favorite scene in the filming of that movie?
My favorite scene is when Fred, who wrote this scene, the dental scene, where he was having a nightmare and they tell him to open his mouth and they take that and I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, Freddie is the
I don't know.
unsung. I want to
Right.
go on saying that Fred Lincoln is the unsung hero of Last House on the Left.
Yeah. He wrote a lot of it. He had a lot to do. And David did all the music.
Mhm.
And we really miss them because both Mark and I stayed best friends with them their whole lives to the very
Four
end.
of us,
Right.
the four of us stayed friends like throughout
Yeah.
the years. We were
That's amazing.
always in touch, and laughing at.
They
the
were
end.
bigger than life.
Oh,
Right?
did you ever consider the four of you trying to do a movie of your own?
We used to think about sequels all the time. Like we were living in a nursing home. Yeah, we got out of jail or whatever it was, or you got undead. We weren't dead. And we're in a nursing home, running a nursing home, but then things kind of get, messed up.
Okay, so
never-
you did talk about like First House on the Right. You know what I mean?
Right. First house on the right. There you are. We're not
Right.
supposed to talk about.
Last house on the circle.
Right.
Right.
House in the middle of the circle.
God.
House in the middle of the circle. There you go.
So wow. So another question for the two of you. Are you still into watching horror movies? And if so, what genre and what is your favorite? She's a big no.
I am terrified of horror films. Jamie Lee Curtis lives in my town and we're friends and I'd watch her, but I watch Carrie. I've seen Carrie. I'm scared of horror films. Psycho made me
that's
not
the
want to take
point.
shit. I know, but they leave you with long-lasting damage. Quentin Tarantino said that we really damaged him. He was only 12. His grandmother took him to the drive-in movie and left with the car. He was there alone, standing there to drive in, watching Last House on the Left. That's not good. The only horror film that really scared him was ours.
Really? Okay.
That's what he said.
Okay.
I just met a woman because I wanted to get the markers that could sign. People send me pictures all the time, and now they're glossy, and I don't know how to sign them. And the woman said to me, "Can I ask why you're signing these?" And I said, "Last House on the Left." And she goes, "I go to sleep every night watching horror films, or I can't sleep." There are people that love, and I found out our fans are the nicest people in the world.
The horror community is,
way to go, Jed.
Awesome. The horror community is awesome.
They're the nicest people. I have made lifelong friends, met them at these conventions. And I met a family in Oklahoma. They named their daughter Sadie, and they brought her to meet me. Do you remember that, Mark, when we were in Dallas? It's like, oh, this poor child, she's named after my character that was a really bad woman.
Right? Wow.
But what the hell?
I had to shut off one horror movie. One.
Which one?
Sleepaway Camp.
I love that guy. I had so much fun with him. We were friends for a short time. I can't even think of his name. I had to block it.
Yep. No, there was just that one scene. The scene where they dropped the beehive into the bathroom stall.
I never saw the movie.
Oh, you never saw it? Well, yeah, you don't watch horror movies, yeah.
I'm
I
scared.
Had to shut it off.
I can't watch Candyman, and I love that guy. He saved me in Canada when I forgot my credit card. He's one of the nicest people in the world.
Oh, wow. What about like Psycho Thriller?
Tony Todd, yeah.
Tony Todd is a great guy.
What about like Psycho Thrillers? Like Insidious and stuff like that? No.
She's like,
don't like to be scared at all.
Nope.
Listen, I just watched Blonde, the Marilyn Monroe thing on Netflix. That was the darkest thing ever. Did anybody see that?
I
haven't seen that.
No, I have to watch that one.
It's really, really, really dark.
Right. So what about you, Mike? Do you watch horror movies?
My wife is a huge horror movie fan, right? I like modern horror movies.
Okay.
I watch them with her. I'm kind of blasé about them, especially the supernatural ones, because the moment the film demands that I suspend disbelief, I get detached from having any other than if it's a pretty picture or it's got great cinematography or there's something, some elements about it that supersede my own kind of ridiculous cynicism, So I watch them with my wife, and some of them I don't get scared, I don't.
Right. Okay.
Some other thing that when you make movies, you don't just see the frame. You kind of see everybody standing around the frame. You kind of see what it looks like, and it's a hard image to it's a hard image to break away from, to make go away. It happens to me all the time.
So, is what you're saying it's harder to enjoy a movie after you've actually acted in one because you understand what's happening behind the scenes?
Not just acted. I spent a career writing and producing.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
Stages all the time. I just think that it may not be for other people. I just know that sometimes when I'm watching a film, what my eyes see the frame, my head sees people around it, like all the people around it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I got to spend many years watching a boyfriend and then my husband do movies, and I love being on movie sets and watching what goes on. And the movie always, the airplane was in a studio on a thing, and it's just so much fun to see how they do it. It's very exciting to be around a movie set.
Yeah, we've had Jeff and I have had the pleasure of being on a couple independent sets. So we understand what you mean by first your head sees around it. I mean, I find myself actually when I watch movies now going, somebody should have edited that because I can see that up in the frame up there, and that shouldn't be there.
I said sorry. Right. I said sorry. No, I've heard that so much from people. I've had people tell me you frightened me to death when I was a kid, and I always say I'm so sorry.
The comment
that was
I saw that. Yeah, Pop's
comment. Yeah,
right.
I saw that. Yeah.
Wow.
Jeramie,
That's
did you ever have any ideas we were doing this, like how people would view Hess? I mean, you know, how scared
he's just a big teddy bear, but I guess it was his looks and his power. He comes across as one of the meanest, most powerful guys, when in fact he was a very loving, caring, kind, helped me with a lot of dog rescue. Yeah, he was a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved his kids, loved his family.
That's awesome.
Freddie did too. Freddie lived for his daughter.
Yep. We just had a baby about a year ago.
The daughter did?
Elika, yeah, she just had a baby about a year ago.
Wow. He loved her so much. French horror films. Wow.
Jen, you're just,
Really?
I know you're into that kinky shit too. So there's a French kinky horror.
There's Korean horror films.
Oh boy.
Great.
But the foreign horror, I'm not a big fan of. I don't know why.
You don't want to read the things. You don't want to read it.
No.
Subtitles? Oh no, I don't do subtitles.
Yeah, that lets you out.
He's not even reading the show notes anymore.
Wow, Jen. I like Jen. She loves horror. And
Jen's
she
a
knows
little ball of fire. She is a ball
I could tell.
Yep, she definitely is. She's such a sweetheart too. But you guys have both done a ton of stuff. I mean, we didn't really talk about the film a lot tonight. It was good watching you reminisce, which was awesome for us. We got some inside stories that probably haven't been told before. But you both have had amazing careers.
I don't know. Not as an actress, I didn't.
You were on General Hospital.
That's true. I got to kiss Rick Springsteen.
Right. And the doctors, and you started in roles off Broadway and working for NBC and CBS. So you still have had a great career, even behind the scenes.
A great life.
You know, and Marc the same. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think we're two people who look back and realize, at least I do, even more so lately, that I've been very lucky, and that I have had many, many more blessings than curses. And I mean, many, many more, and it continues to happen.
Right. So looking back 50 years ago when the two of you were filming this, did you ever think in a million years that you would still be talking about this 50 years later?
No.
My
parents refused to talk to me for 2 years after the movie came out.
Is that good?
They went to see it. No, it was bad. You love your family.
Well, yeah, but sometimes a 2-year break's not too bad.
There was a cast and crew screening of Last House shortly before the release over at a post house on the west side of Manhattan. And I remember standing outside of it at the end with David and Freddie and looking at them. And we all kind of said the same thing different ways, that we were all very happy that we all met, right? Mm-hmm. And we knew, Jeramie included, that we were all going to be friends forever. That our friendship was not over. This was just the beginning of it, right? Because but nobody in their fucking right mind was ever going to come and see this. And
no, I made them ask me for their money back, and it was free. Yeah. I want my money back, and I said, "I'm taking the bus home. I don't have any money. They paid nothing for this."
Then it's like I told you, weird shit happens. Then after being out, I think a couple of months and, working in drive-ins where a company by the name of Hallmark Releasing out of Boston, back then out of Boston, financed the movie. And they had drive-ins all around New England. And they put it in drive-ins, right? And then a strange quirk of fate, Roger Ebert, the #1 film critic in the country at the time, somehow gets a hold of a copy of it and writes a 3.5 out of 4-star review. And the very next day, Sean Cunningham got an order for over 800, I think somewhere between 800 and 1,000 prints. And I remember being in his office and watching him run around like a fucking lunatic on 10 different phones at the same time, trying to get 3 prints here, a dozen prints here, this lab, that lab, because he suddenly had these orders that he never thought were imaginable. And because you don't know when a review like this is going to happen, right?
Right.
Our pictures were everywhere. The posters.
Yeah, we were everywhere.
Every subway, Times Square, every movie theater.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild.
Kind of surreal.
Well, it was, it was over the top for its time.
Yeah.
I think that, that really, it was a trendsetter too for a few years.
Well, the doctors were very angry at me. That did not work well with daytime television. To be, stabbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a good career move.
There were so many pictures of like Hess, that classic shot of him holding the machete, right?
Right.
And all over town that like people would run from him, like just literally run, and they just run away, like see him and they'd run away from him. And he, as I if you recall, he and I were sharing an apartment at the time, living together. So I was his like little neurotic, funny Renfield, right? I was like with him all the time. And I would say, "Oh, master, they're scared of you. They don't like you. They think you're going to kill them, and which you might do anyway. And Hess goes, "You're not helping me, but you're going to beat someone up. Is that correct? You're going to kill someone." He'd go fucking nuts. He'd just, go completely out of his fucking mind.
That's great. Wow.
He got typeset. Cast, don't you think? After that.
Yep.
Yeah, and sometimes he made wrong decisions too, and
it was funny because I'm watching it, like I said, with my wife last night, and she's like, "Is that Sylvester Stallone?"
It's similar. It's a similar look.
It is a very similar
back in those days, right?
Yeah.
But long before his time.
Right.
Not that long before. Well, maybe a decade. Maybe a decade.
A decade.
Before.
Yeah, it was a decade. Yeah.
He was a very loyal, like Jeramie said, loving father. Just we talked almost every day. I mean, just like almost every day we talked, and or he'd call and I'd listen, right? And
Jim said back in the 1900s.
Yeah.
Hey, we're up there.
Yep. And actually, it was the 2000s but that's different. He was just crazy. He was just fucking nuts. Just like came a point in time when I had to tell him, "I can't play golf with you anymore, David. You're just too crazy." He'd throw his clubs, he'd hit a bad shot, he'd throw his clubs, he'd break a club, he just fucking. So called me up one day. He said, "Hey, I'm coming down to LA, and let's play golf." And I said, "I can't play golf with you. I love you like a brother. I'm not playing golf with you." No, I'm much better. I'm not. I've been seeing somebody and and talking, and I'm calmer and much better. I said, "David, if you're lying to me, I'll fucking kill you. I'll take a golf club and I'll hit you. I'll hit you in your head with it." He said, "No, I'm fine. So comes down from San Francisco, picks me up, and we go to a course called the Bell in Burbank, California. And they put us with 2 older women. And now they're on the tee, the red tee, and Hess is standing by a ball with a club going. I start laughing because it's stupid. It's just what he's doing. It's like fucking stupid. And I said, "What are you doing? You look stupid. You look like a fucking bull, like in a ring, like you're gonna go kill a matador or something." And he said, "No, I do this to calm down." I said, "You don't look very calm. There's like steam coming out of your nose." And he said, "I'll be okay." So now the two ladies hit, and they hit straight balls, 150 yards. They're like, kissing each other. Two balls are like right in the middle of the fairway. He says, "You want to hit?" And I said, "No, you go first." So he gets up, gets in front of his ball, does this fucking shit, takes the club back, goes through it, and shanks it right into a barranca. And I said, "Now's when you need to be calm." And he said, "Shut the fuck up, will you? Shut the fuck up or I'll throw a club at you." I said, "I'm out of here, David. I'll see you later." And I left. I said, "That's it. That's it."
So we got about 5 minutes left because if the dog spoke.
They're here to pick up she's here to pick up two dogs.
I was like, "Oh, okay. The dog wants us to stay on. Okay, please don't send him over."
Weighs 175 pounds.
Oh, wow. Shit.
Big dog.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys had the opportunity to do a remake of it 50 years later, would you?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
I can still do my hair like that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. We want to do it.
All right.
It'd be funny if we were the same character, which means that my father would have to be like, I don't know, 90, 95. And then we're all the same age that we are now, only and in the same roles, but just 4 generations older.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I never understood why they didn't do that.
We'll call it "They Never Left the House."
Yeah.
Yes, they never left the house. Ooh.
That's a spooky title.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, that'll be on Tubi in a year.
Right? Somebody's catching.
That could really scare people.
Oh yeah.
See, look, Jen said yes.
She said yes.
She knows.
Well, somebody's got to call Wes. Say, "Hey, listen, we got to do this."
A little difficult to do.
I know.
Right?
That's another movie. That's another movie entirely.
Right. Produced by.
You know who would take that on? Is Rob Zombie would take that on.
Yeah, you're right.
We want to do it.
Rob Zombie would take that movie on.
He probably would.
He probably would.
From what I've been hearing
I
about.
don't know if he'd do it justice, but.
Well, according to what he did with Monsters, probably not.
Well, no, but I loved what he did.
Tarantino would do a great job on that stuff.
Yeah, Quentin would do a good job.
Yeah, Tarantino's got a warped mind. I like that. That could work very well.
It would be a little different, but it would be a great take on it.
Right.
I wish he'd hired me to just be a walk on the Hollywood movie he did, because I used to live in that house that Sharon Tate was murdered in. I could have been an advisor as to how it really looked.
True.
Are you talking about wolves at the door?
No. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Okay.
Speaking of that, you had a pretty scary experience with when you hitchhiked.
Yeah, actually, it wasn't that scary. I thought they were great, Tex Watson and Charles Manson. Little did I know what they were going to do in about a month.
Right.
But no, I didn't know that they were bad. I thought they were interesting. They pulled out their guitars and played for me. And then when my boyfriend smoked pot and we got kicked out of the place I was in West Hollywood, Charles was driving down the street, picked me up, took me to their place. I spent the evening there. I did not sleep. My son is here, and he swears that I must have slept with Charles Manson. I did not. No. But we spent all night sticking her hand in the wall, pulling out these old letters that were really old and reading them. He wasn't a terrible person, and somehow, and he's also from West Virginia. We bonded over that. And then I, of course, went home to West Virginia. And then my great aunt called my grandfather and said, some really scary, scary people came banging on my door looking for your granddaughter, me. And it was Charles Manson. They came looking for me, and the murders happened a couple days later. So I've always been very grateful that they didn't kill my great aunt.
Right.
Or me.
Right.
Yeah.
And
then I played
yearly
recruit.
I killed Sharon Tate for a year in a play in New York about Charles Manson. And that's how I got Last House on the Left. And then I moved with John Savage when his career was taking off. We moved to his manager's house in LA. The manager was away. And little did I know, I lived there for 3 months before John told me that our house was where Sharon Tate was murdered. All those people were murdered there. So then the house became haunted for me, totally haunted. And I lived there for a year. Lots of crazy things happened living there. I'm glad they tore it down. That house is torn. It's bulldozed.
Yeah.
Gone. Wow. But that was a full circle that I never wanted to make, to meet the bad guys hitchhiking, to play one of the bad girls in a play, then the movie, then to live in that house. What are the odds of that? They're not good.
You're a fucking psycho. You know that?
Yeah.
You're psycho.
He's like, yeah.
No, I agree. Do you know that Elvis Presley showed up at the gate a week after the murders? Rudy Altobelli came home from Italy and just cleaned up the house. And there was Elvis called from the gate and he wanted to buy the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rudy should have sold it to him.
Right.
Yeah, it was really scary living there.
Elvis is in the building.
Yeah. Elvis wanted that building.
So, Leo, you know what we forgot to do tonight?
Play the ad?
No. I always forget to play the ad. Whatever. No, we forgot to mention where all these amazing people that are watching that aren't really chiming in, but there's a bunch of chiming in, where they can find out about our guests.
Where is that, Ben?
It's in the show notes. I know that.
Yeah,
where are the show notes, Leo?
Up above or down. Let's see. This is what they make me do. Up above, down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. Did I do my job right?
Yeah. You only waited an hour and 12 minutes to do it, but it's okay.
No, that's cool.
Well, it was hard to break in. There was so much awesome conversation going on.
Oh, no, there was. It was great conversation.
Awesome. So, yeah, I know we're getting ready to head out, but I want to bring up Mark. You are writing a book, correct?
I am.
All right. You got 90 seconds. Tell us about it.
Didn't he already tell us about it in the middle of the show? Where the hell were you?
No. I want to know more about it.
Oh.
When's it going to be done?
I hope to have a first draft by February.
Okay.
I have an agent, and I'm hoping that I have a reasonably good draft by February to then go. And so sometime next year, or late spring maybe, if I can keep working. And it's called Big Effing Dumb Effing Luck. That's the actual title, and it's just about my life. Just about the amazing things that have happened to me, the journey that I've been on, and how most of it I just think is just dumb effing luck. Just putting myself in the right place and just being lucky.
Saying yes when you really probably should have said no.
When others would say
flying
no.
my way to the top.
Right. You have to
in
that
business. I don't know how to do all those things. That's the thing. Now
nobody you have to.
Well, that's the key right there. You just said it.
You fake
now
it till you make it.
You know how to do all that.
Yeah, I do.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
I know. It's weird, isn't it? It's like actually no shit.
It is. It's weird. Yep. So kudos to you. I give you a lot of credit for that one.
Right. I'm in a movie that has been getting a lot of heat at festivals called The Once and Future Smash. You guys should look it up. It's a comedy. And I play myself. So it's a movie about a movie that never existed. And since I was in Last House, they put me as a guy talking about a reality as if it was a reality, right? So I'm doing this thing about, I talked about Wes and Sean back in the day, and they were very excited about your move, about Smash, and I read this whole fucking thing. One of my youngest son is watching me do this, and on the way home he turned to me and he said, "How do you just do that?" And I said, "What?" He said, "You just like bullshitted your way through that entire audition. That entire scene. You just bullshitted. You just ad-lib bullshit." And I said, "That's how I raised, man. That's what paid for your shit when you were a kid. The fact that I'd go to studios and do that. It's just, I don't know. It's the thing." So
he's good.
That's
good at it.
If you really believe in yourself and this is what you want to do, you got to do shit like that.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. No, I agree.
And
absolutely.
Jeramie, your daughter just wrote a book as well, Meme Wars. I'm putting a link in the chat right now.
I'm so proud of her. Amazon picked it as their nonfiction pick of the month.
That's
awesome.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm very proud of her. I'm proud of all three of my kids. They're all amazing.
You have great kids. I don't know
the show notes, right?
I told my children to never see Last House on the Left, and then I found out they'd all seen it. So there you are.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're still okay.
Well, that's good.
Did they see The Abductors?
I hope not. I'm really afraid. I just found something. Look what I just found in this library. So I don't know where that came from, but there's a book about it. So maybe they have. Ben.
Okay.
He's hiding.
Because I know you were surprised when you were doing that part too.
Well, nobody told me that. I mean, I knew I was going to get kidnapped. They asked me if I could be a cheerleader. I told them I was a gymnast growing up, so they said, "Fine, that's cheerleader." So next thing I know, we're being ripped out of a car violently, and then made to strip and walk naked, and I did not want to do that. But they didn't take no for an answer. We were in New Jersey somewhere. I wanted a ride home. It was embarrassing, but I loved the scene where I found out that I'm probably a sadist. I had to wait all night to do the scene with the whip. So I was putting more and more red lipstick on and practicing with the whip. And the poor old man that I was supposed to hit got so afraid that I'd kill him that they made it so that when they shot the scene, I had to just hit the bed. I wasn't allowed to actually.
Oh, all that practice for nothing.
All that practice and all that lipstick. Getting into character.
Wow. Okay.
Fun. Well, it's always fun to be the bad person.
Right. Well, I read about that, and that's one of the things that I always look at is that's kind of need to know information. If you want me to do something and you want me to do this,
tell me that there's a nude scene. I didn't know that.
Need to know information.
Yeah, but when you move to New York with nothing and you are trying to survive and you're saying yes to things, you get yourself into some situations.
True.
There's a story I would love to tell, but I'm afraid to. But I did audition for Young Frankenstein. I did fly to California and stay at the Beverly Hills Hotel and met Mel Brooks. And someday I will tell my Mel Brooks story.
Oh, you're going to very soon.
When you're ready to tell that story, you send me an email and we'll book you on another show.
It's really funny now. I look at it as funny.
I want to hear the story. So
it wasn't funny then.
Oh,
but it's hard. It's hard being. I found out that I knew some actresses that were very famous who also had a very, just because you become successful doesn't mean that it gets any easier for women in the industry. Right. And if women really told what went on, nobody believed them.
Sounds like a book to me.
Yeah, it sounds like your own book right there.
Yeah,
well, my daughter's publisher wants her to write 2 books, and she pitched one, and they said yes. And then he said, "What's the other?" And she goes, "The other one is Born Dead. It's about my mother. She was born dead. They tied my mother's knees together, and by the time I got out, they said, 'Oops, it didn't make it,' and it did. It's me." she wants to write the story of my life from her point of view. I thought it was interesting that they would write about the not famous parent rather than the famous parent. And they want to do it. They said they'd do it. So I told her I will write things down and try to get it right. But I've had a blessed life.
I think you're both famous in your own respects.
Yeah, in different ways.
But I mean, in all seriousness.
At least in their minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. So
not in mine.
On that note, I know, Leo, you got another show kicking off at 9 tonight.
I do.
So do your thing.
Yep. I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. Definitely check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us, to learn more about our awesome guests. And we will start with Jeramie. Where do you like people interacting with you on social media?
I love Twitter, but I'm scared now if Elon Musk is buying it. I'm not sure what's going to happen to Twitter. But I am Jeramie Rain at Jeramie Dreyfuss, or it might be the other way around on Twitter.
Okay.
It's in the show notes, folks.
Great. Cool.
Mark, same question. Where do you like people interacting with you?
Let me see. Facebook. I'm on Facebook, and I am on Twitter at M5Marc. Instagram, Marc_Sheffler. And nowhere else. Any other place I like people to interact with me, it's exclusively my wife, and that's it.
Wow, you've really changed, Mark. You've changed.
My God, it takes a second to get
wow,
these
he
jokes.
Grew up. He finally grew up. He grew up.
I had 5 different ways to do that joke, and I chose that one. But it takes a second to get these. And I'm patient. I'm
Oh my God. I want to thank you guys. This has been an absolute pleasure. And as far as us, just go to stilltoking.com, Toking with the Dead on Facebook. You can rewatch this if you're just catching up, or watch any of our previous shows. And yeah, I'm blown away. This is a great show. I had a lot of fun. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we had a blast for sure. Leo.
Yes, sir.
When I said to do your thing, you forgot to do
your
thing.
Because I'm off a week,
It's okay. Catch up, buddy. Catch up.
Well, you can Google me. Just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. But I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. We got about 40 shows on the network. Ton of awesome people doing a ton of awesome stuff. Head on over to thedorkening.com, but you can find all the latest episodes there. And there we go. Benjamin.
I am going to say something. Leo, go back to your screen real quick.
Yeah.
I like the way you changed everything over there by, it was all Star Wars, but now I see all the vintage games.
Oh, yeah.
All the vintage games stacked up. Very cool.
I figured it was due for a change. And that's what happens when I take a little bit of time off. I can just, decompress and, just, get a little creative.
We're all glad you're feeling better. Welcome back.
Thank you.
By the way, I didn't say that at the beginning, but yeah, we had a blast tonight. It didn't go the way we thought it would have gone. Talking about the movie,
it never does, dude.
No, it doesn't.
And
it's more about whether or not the guests had a good time, and I think they had a blast reconnecting and finding out a lot of things they didn't know about each other.
Yes,
just saying. You have to rewatch it, folks. Like Jeff said, stilltoking.com. You can watch all the shows. We want to thank Jeramie and Marc for coming out and celebrating the 50th anniversary of Last House on the Left. If you haven't seen it, shame on you. Just shame on you, man. That's all I'm going to say. Shame on you. Go watch it. Let your kids watch it. It's a great movie.
No. No. Don't let your kids watch it.
It's now officially art.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's officially
Keep repeating, it's
art.
Only a movie.
It's a classic art. You have to watch it. But to all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do so people like us can do what we do. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. We're out of here.
Bye.
Bye.